Okay, I would like to invite Kirsten to load up her screen for the Cochrane count.
Hi everyone, I'm Kirsten Pearson. I am the count compiler for Cochrane. I've been the compiler since 2019, and my husband Josh joins in the effort sometimes as well. So Cochrane is in its 22nd year. We started in 1996 and have run since, with the exception of 2009 and 2016 to 2018. So our count date was December 18th. Our party hours were up from our average of 61, and we had 31 participants, up from our average. So we're sort of missing quite a few of the historical participant numbers, but up from our average for the numbers that we do have. Number of species was equal to 2020 at 39 individuals. Bird observations much lower than 2020's number of 5,100, which was a record high in 2020, but on average, higher than our average of 2,764. So we have 7 count areas, which we subdivided last year due to COVID restrictions and kind of participant comfort levels. So those were sort of subdivided as needed so that we could kind of keep 2 cohorts and whatnot. We lost some volunteers this year due to conflicts with other count dates. And overall, like, fairly mild day, but we did have a Chinook, so we had quite strong winds, which suppressed a lot of activity. So here are our count areas. They're very large because we don't have a lot of access in the indigenous lands. On the west-hand side here, this is the Stony Nakota land, and then we have a lot of private land and whatnot within the count circle, something we're working on for future years. But those are our 7 count areas, and they are the same as they have been since 2019. So just a little explanation of the legend here. So this relative column with the colors is relative to our historical average since 1996. Bold indicates a new highest count record, and the asterisks indicate species that were recorded on 5 or less counts since 96. So we observed record high woodpecker counts for downies and hairies, and almost for northern flickers. We were only off by 2 individuals from setting a record. It's a good year for the woodpeckers. We were also close to a record high number of rough-legged hawks. Again, only off by 2 individuals. Our average for roughies is 5. We were pleasantly low on rock pigeons. The average count is 269 with a max of 510, and this year we only recorded 68. We got a pileated woodpecker, which has only been recorded on 3 other counts, and we got a lovely photo of the individual from Scott Slocum, and that's at the end of the presentation. We set a count record for northern shrike at 4. Our average is 1. Blue jays were double the average of 15. Crows were quadruple our average of 3, and ravens were up from our average of 246. We had a record high black-capped chickadee count at 599. Our average is 241. Jim will be happy that our mountain chickadees were there. So we had 8, which is good. Boreal chickadees were a really bizarre miss for us. We recorded them on 20 out of the 22 counts, and our average is normally 12, and we got absolutely none this year. Red-breasted nuthatches were half the average, whilst white-breasted were double the average, and we almost set a record high for white-breasted. Golden crown kinglet was another odd miss. Our average is 6 typically, and we've recorded them previously on sort of 15 out of 22 counts, so 3/4. We set another record high for robins at 5, and an unusual bird having only been recorded on 2 other counts. Again, pleasantly low on invasive species. We recorded absolutely no European starlings for the first time in the count's history. So That's nice. We recorded 3.6 times the average number of Bohemian waxwings, but then shockingly recorded no snow buntings at all. We normally have an average of 244, and we've recorded them on 20 out of 22 counts. So that was a weird miss as well. Dark-eyed juncos were double the average of 5, and pine grosbeaks saw double their average of 21, which was sort of a trend that was echoed throughout the finches this year. So continuing the finchy success, house finches were close to a record high. Our average is 16. Red crossbills were also close to a record high. White-winged crossbills were almost triple the average. Common redpolls were double the average. And lastly, our one thriving introduced species was the house sparrow, up from the average of 576. Our garden probably contributed to a good percentage of that number after they figured out how to squeeze into all of our swallow boxes, so apologies for that. Overall, our total was high at 3,959 from our average of 2,764. So some improvements for the future, sort of more marketing to get more individuals involved, putting out things in the local paper and whatnot. Cochranites love their paper. And more sort of proactive and collaborative scheduling with other nearby counts to reduce date conflicts, and sort of proximity to other counts too, so people don't kind of get birded out, I guess. And then looking at some future land access into some good riparian habitat and forested habitat. And then just lastly, thanks to all of our count leaders, Jim St. Laurent, Frank Hennessy, Richard Lynn Moore, Kent Russell, Scott Slocum, Sid Andrews, and me, and then our lovely count volunteers. And then if anyone's interested, that is our count website, which you can go to look at our data and all sorts of other cool stuff. And thanks, Scott, for the lovely photo. And that's it. Thanks.
Okay, thanks very much, Kirsten.